It certainly has, Nathan, and one part that you guys mentioned that seems to be of importance is the fact that we're learning today that it is non-CUSMA-compliant goods, so that being the trade deal that was reached during the first Trump administration. Still, the idea of 35% tariffs on Canadian goods has set some alarms off.
Any hope that the trading relationship between Canada and the United States is on the path to stability has been dealt a major blow, with U.S. President Donald Trump sending an open letter to Prime Minister Mark Carney that says, starting August 1st, 2025, we will charge Canada a tariff of 35% on Canadian products sent into the United States, separate from any sectoral tariffs. Trump once again citing fentanyl from Canada into the United States as a reason.
And it's just a reminder that there are no rules, there is no reason, there is no rationale for anything that Donald Trump does.
Trump has already hit Canada's steel and aluminum industries along with auto manufacturing, as well as a blanket tariff of 25% on Canadian goods. This as Prime Minister Carney had focused on July 21st as a date to reach a deal with the United States.
My own judgment is that this feels different. And I think the Prime Minister is going to have to show a little spine and push back on Donald Trump, given just how obnoxious and how outrageous this letter is.
In a statement, the Prime Minister said, throughout the current trade negotiations with the United States, the Canadian government has steadfastly defended our workers and businesses. We will continue to do so as we work towards a revised deadline of August 1st.
I think that the Prime Minister was buying time. I think that was a stall, essentially, that statement. I would expect to see something out of the Prime Minister's office today, because I do think this demands a different order of response. And you can see it in the reaction of labor leaders and others. I just don't think that we can take this laying down.
Carleton University professor Ian Lee says he thinks that Trump has a clear agenda, and this threat is part of his method.
I believe it's not going well in the negotiations, and so he is, even though the negotiations between Canada and the U.S. are private, they're behind closed doors, we all know that, he's sort of jumping into the public sphere from time to time because he knows what's going on in the negotiations. He's being briefed every day. And so from time to time, he drops these little bombs on us to, shall we say, motivate the Canadian side.
Lee says that it's perhaps time for the Canadian side to think more practically in negotiating with the United States.
I think he wants our manufacturing sector. I do not believe they need our natural resources because they don't have critical minerals. China has the world by the neck because they have over 90% market share. We have critical minerals, but we haven't developed them. There is the essence of a deal.
Within his letter, Trump also threatened any retaliatory tariffs, saying, if for any reason you decide to raise your tariffs, then whatever the number you choose to raise them by will be added onto the 35% that we charge.
And we found out in just the last few minutes that Premier Doug Ford has asked Prime Minister Mark Carney for an in-person meeting with all First Ministers, and that will take place in Huntsville on July 22nd in response to these proposed 35% tariffs. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Nathan, Michelle, send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean.